Let's be frank just for a little bit here. When someone is charged with a crime, be it a petty crime or a more serious crime against other individuals or children, or maybe it's even a property crime, it doesn't matter. When someone is charged with a crime, society automatically looks at that person and thinks of them as guilty. Otherwise, they would never have been arrested in the first place. When someone is sentenced to a crime, either to county, state prison, or in the federal prison system, we automatically say that individual is guilty of the crime. But we know that 24% of all those who are arrested initially for a charge on a crime, be anything from petty, from shoplifting, all the way up to manslaughter, we know that 24% will eventually end up taking a plea bargain deal or be found not guilty and the charges are dropped against them. 24%. Behind bars, though, rehabilitation, those days are over. We don't even try to rehabilitate anymore. We have stripped the county jails, the state prison system, and for a large portion of the federal prison, we have stripped away any chance of rehabilitation. We've done away with extended learning classes. You don't need a GED, you're a criminal. You don't need parenting classes or any kind of rehabilitation classes, drug counseling, or anything else because you're a criminal. At the same time, we stripped away those basic things to better the individual so when they get out, they will not reoffend. We did away with services like mental health counseling and risk aversion counseling for those who may be self-injuring or may think about self-injuring. We've done away with those. So much so, ladies and gentlemen, the statistics from 2001 through 2019 are extremely alarming, and you should know about it because we all have had loved ones who have committed some kind of petty crime. Maybe it was drunk driving. Maybe it was something as simple as illegal trespassing and they were arrested for it. You may even know somebody who's been arrested and charged with a more serious crime. But mental health counseling and aversion counseling has been stripped away from every level of incarceration across the United States. Between 2001 and 2019, the suicide rates behind bars is up 85%. I'll say that again in case you missed it. Up 85% from county, city, state prisons, and federal prison systems. You take all 5 different ones, it's up 85%. And here are the hard numbers that nobody can get away with. According to the BJS, which is the Bureau of Justice and Statistics, according to Ann Carson, PhD in mental health counseling, suicide rates in state prisons are up over 80%. Federal prison system and the suicide rate there is up over 61% itself. County and city jails, because some states and jurisdictions have both city and county jails, the suicide rate is up over 24%. Questionable suicides, that's a category that they have on their forms or they note in the other section, questionable suicides, where they don't know if the inmate actually killed themselves or if somebody Jeffrey Epstein them into an actual suicide, is up 53%. Whites, pasty white people, die by the hands of suicide themselves or underneath questionable circumstances 5 times more than African Americans, 3 times more than Hispanic Americans, and 11 times more than Asian Americans, and 27% more than Native Americans. Pasty white people are taking themselves out or dying under questionable circumstances more than any other racial group. When it comes to the times that people actually harm themselves, the largest statistic shows that it's within 48 hours of initial arrest, before sentencing, before anything else in the county and city jails, and then going into the actual state penitentiary. Because there are people who await trial in the state and in the federal system. You may think of only the state and the federal system where someone is sent once they've been sentenced. But because of security reasons, we hold people like, who major crimes in a state prison. I show you no one else other than the individual who is accused of committing the Delphi murders is being held in a state prison system right now. Not a county jail, not a city jail, but in a state prison system because of security reasons. Additionally, they may be held within an actual jail or correction center that is a housing unit for only the federal and state system. Of the last 300 high-profile inmates who have died of strangulation, 37 of them died underneath what they call questionable circumstances. Either they had no way of actually getting the items that they used to actually commit their strangulation, or they died under circumstances where something just wasn't right, and then so much so that they noted it down. 37 of the last 300. Mental health counseling. It's not there. Just like so many other services when it comes to the prison system, the jail system here in America, you have to ask yourself, what type of society do we have? What kind of society do we want to be if we won't even look after the mental health crises that someone might be having in a county jail? Maybe they were arrested for a DUI and because of the reason why they were drunk and driving is because they're having a mental health crisis. Maybe they're having meth, psychosis or heroin psychosis, and they hurt themselves, or they attempted to hurt themselves in the county jail, or in the state prison, or in the federal prison system. Do we want to be a society that looks at that individual and says, hey, you're a criminal. That's why you were arrested. How many of them do you feel would probably be going through a mental health crisis? You're innocent. You've been arrested for a crime you know you didn't commit. How many of them need help? And we've stripped all the help away.